Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor, and welcome to the 100,000 Subscriber Interviews, a series of short interviews with people who have harnessed my work and seized the power. My guest is ready, so let's find out a little more about them. Hello, what's your name and where do you come from?
I'm AV, and I'm from Minnesota in the States.
Hello, AV. Thank you for sharing your thoughts with me today. Straight into our questions. Number one, how did you find my work?
I Googled behaviors that I had seen in the person and came up with narcissism, and it just kept going. And finally, I got to yours, and that's where I stopped because it made sense.
Good to hear. Number two, explain briefly the narcissist situation that brought you, first of all, to my work.
I was involved for 3 months with an online long distance narcissist. Of course, at the time, I didn't realize that's what he was, but he had some outrageous and really scary behaviors. And when I ended, that's where it started.
Okay, so you mentioned that the situation was somewhat frightening for you. Was there any other way that the situation you found yourself in was affecting you?
When I ended it, I was a total wreck. I mean, I had no clue what hit me. It was, yeah, I was just shaken to the core. I just didn't know what had happened. I'd never seen anything like that before.
Okay. Which of my books have you read?
It's easier to say which ones I haven't read. I think I've read all of them, I think, except for Revenge. That one I haven't, but Sitting Target, Fuel, Fury, Red Flag, Black Flag, Danger, Sex, Pipelines, Fetid and Fear, Outnumbered, Elated, Eroded, Manipulated, a lot of the small ones, The Wise. A lot of them several times too.
Oh, I'm pleased to hear that. They certainly are things that you can return to. One of the advantages is, of course, you read it first of all and it gives you understanding, and then as you move on you can go back to it and find something new in the material.
Exactly.
As your emotional thinking comes down. Comprehensive reader there, very good to hear. And of all of those books, if you're able to, which did you find the most useful and why?
The most useful, okay, so it's kind of the same. I guess my favorite and my most useful, I don't know. Pipelines is probably my most useful. I'm not sure why. I had written out Sitting Target. That's actually my favorite one, and that's the one I go back to the most.
Yeah.
I just love everything in there about the categorizations and I just feel like your system is just literally genius, that how you put that together. And then the hunting grounds, the descriptions there, what to watch for, what you guys are looking for. And one thing that I just recently really came to, we just are, we just are empaths and we can't change it, and it's good. I like being an empath. So anyways.
Well, I'm rather pleased that there are empaths, as they
yeah, I bet you are.
They're there for me to feast on. So it's all good for me. Jolly good. Now, which product from the Knowledge Vault has helped you the most?
Okay, I had a toss up on this one. The first one is Dark Cupid, the Dark Cupid series. I didn't understand. I didn't know what it was when I bought it. And I bought them all at once because there was a sale. And then I was like, oh boy, I'm not sure what I've gotten myself into here. And I didn't understand. And it took me quite a while to realize that they really show the symbiotic nature of the dynamic between the narcissist and the empath, and how I'm just as sick. I mean, in a different way, but I came to realize that I was sick, and I need to take my power. I need to make different choices and stop allowing. I mean, we're victims, but I also can change things for myself. I don't have to sit there in that. So that was that one. And then the other one was the parental narcissist, which I learned about ANC, almost no contact. And that has been just amazingly helpful to me as well.
Good. I'm pleased that's the case. For those listening, the Dark Cupid series is a sort of delving into the sexual side of the dynamic between the narcissist and the victim, but it's multi-layered. And as AV has just explained, at first was a little bit perplexed as to what's all this about, but then upon further embracing that work, you get into those various layers and will find lots of instructive and incisive observations about not just the sexual side of things, but also the nature of that dynamic and the power exchange that goes on. And it also provides you with that insight into how we, the narcissists, regard you also, not just sexually, but as a whole in terms of that dynamic. So those of you who haven't accessed it already, I'd recommend that you do so. And AV gives it an endorsement also. Excellent. Question 7, what made you organize an audio consultation with me?
So I'd been on the blog. I've been on there for about 18 months now. At the time, the first one I'd been on for probably 5 months, maybe. And I had discovered that I had three confirmed, possibly 4 of my primary relationships, not my children, but my parents and the ex-husband were narcissists. And I just needed to get some more answers. I just knew, and a lot of the bloggers had urged me also, and I'm like, wait a minute, I can't fill up an hour. I don't have anything to talk about. Well, because I don't have.
Know how that turned out.
What's that?
We know how that turned out.
Yes, we do. All right. Yes, we do.
So it was basically the pursuit of some answers and getting rid of the fog that led you to speak to me. Good.
Exactly.
And question 8. How did you feel just before you spoke to me the first time?
Oh, I was so excited. I couldn't wait. And I knew that I knew you had the answers, and I was not nervous. Now, I haven't been in a romantic relationship with a narcissist for over 10 years, 12 years. Okay. So I didn't have like pressing stuff like that. Like some people come to you with that. So I was just mostly excited about it, and I knew I'd get some answers.
Good. Question 9. Where are you now with regard to the narcissist situation that first arose?
The one that first arose, that one, I have not had any contact, no contact with him. He did try to hoover me once, about 3 or 4 months after I ended that, and he just was blocked. I mean, I just blocked him more after that Hoover attempt. And yeah.
Good. Question 10. What part of my work has helped you the most and why?
Okay, the audio consults have helped me the most, but they really work in tandem with the blog work, with the reading I've done, the studying, and I feel like I had all this head knowledge, and then talking to you, it brought it to real life, if that makes sense.
It does.
And so, and you said something about, we know how that turned out with the calls. I know I kind of called you just once. And it was so beneficial. I just kept calling.
Well, that's the proof is in the pudding's in the eating, isn't it? So that demonstrates the efficacy of the audio consultation.
Yeah,
so that's very, very good to hear about. And question 11, what would you like to learn more about?
I would like to learn more. Well, there's a lot of things, because I think it's such a huge topic that I could just probably keep calling you for the rest of my life and still learn more stuff. But right now, the one thing that's been on my mind a lot is how being an ACON, I'm a double ACON. Okay. And I feel like the double and the single and then the non-ACON situations they bring about a really different result. And I'm really curious if you've noticed that, and I'd like to hear more about it if you have. And also, I don't, how the different empaths are formed, I guess, is another piece of that. It's another piece of that, yeah, that would tie in.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Question 12. Just mentioned about empaths. Do you identify as one? And if so, what's your school and cadre?
I do. And when I first came to the blog, I had never heard of an empath. Like, I mean, I think I'd heard the word, but I had never heard a definition or didn't know what it was or anything. So right away, the first thing I did was do the empath detector and the trait detector.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, well, if I turns out, because I thought I was the narcissist possibly, because I'm like, I'm having all these problems with all these people. It's probably me. Okay. Yeah. So I did the empath detector expecting, no, I didn't expect anything. I didn't know what to expect. And it came back that I am an empath. And it was like, oh, that's so weird. That was just hit me funny. And it turned out that I am a majority standard, and I have a very strong super element, a majority savior with a significant carrier and insignificant geyser.
Okay, thank you for sharing that.
Mm-hmm.
Question 13. What do you think of narcissists now?
I think they cannot change. I think this is okay for me to say. I asked you one time in one of my calls, because I had to know. I was very emotional at the time, and I needed to know from my mom about her ability to change. And you took the entire hour and you explained to me, and you don't pull any punches. And It was hard, and I cried a lot. But I needed to hear that. I needed to know there's nothing that's going to make this woman ever better. And that was really heartbreaking for me. But since that call, and I've listened to it and I've cried, and, I don't cry anymore over it, but it still makes me emotional. It's still sad to me. That just how trapped I feel like you guys are, and how I need to get away from that, because it's just not safe for me.
Understood.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you've obviously embraced a lot of my work, AV, but what's your favorite aspect of it?
Probably the empath and trait detectors. They have helped me learn about who I am and why I do what I do. What makes me attractive to you guys. And I'm not done. It's giving me a sense of self, and it's a bigger gift than you can possibly imagine to have that piece. Mm-hmm.
So gaining that knowledge has proved instrumental in helping you.
Mm-hmm. Very much so.
Excellent. And finally, AV, what's your message to people listening to you?
Use HG's work. He is a genius. His work is the best. It is unrivaled, and it works.
Thank you very much, AV from Minnesota, for sharing your observations and insights today.
Thank you for allowing me the opportunity. You're welcome.